So guys, this is the Vodafone Smart Platinum 7, and coming in at £300, it offers an unprecedented experience. To begin with, the phone looks amazing. It's 6.99mm thin, and it glides into your hand. It fits really comfortably, and both the front and the back are made of Gorilla Glass 4, so not only is it incredibly durable, but it feels premium. And I actually did try a couple of drop tests, admittedly kind of accidentally, but still, and the front and back were totally unmarked, not even a scratch, although the trim of the device did get a couple of chips. The back of the device, while it does look really nice and glossy and high quality, is a little bit sticky and can attract some fingerprints, so I'm a bit torn as to whether I prefer that or a matte finish. The company's also managed to integrate a fingerprint sensor, which to be honest is every bit as fast as the one found on the iPhone. While the placement is good, the only thing I'd say is that it's a little bit hard to distinguish from the rest of the phone, so you sometimes have to kind of feel around for it. So build amazing, and this is where things start to get even better. The display is drop dead gorgeous, full stop. It's a QHD AMOLED panel, really bright, both inside and outside. It's just fantastic. The viewing angles are top notch, and it even puts a lot of £600 smartphones to shame. It's on top in terms of software too, with a stock version of Android 6.0.1, which runs really fast and really fluid, but more on the components a little bit later. Considering that the device is actually made by Vodafone, which is a network in itself, I was expecting a ton of bloatware, but to be honest, it's pretty empty. There's no actual physical keys on the front of the smartphone, so all navigation is actually done with on-screen buttons, which is just a matter of preference really. So let's talk about what's under the hood. The Vodafone Smart Platinum 7 actually comes with a Snapdragon 652 alongside 3GB of RAM. And to be honest, my initial reaction, looking at that spec sheet and then looking at the OnePlus 3 spec sheet, I just kind of shrugged my shoulders a bit. But then I started to use the phone and I was blown away. In terms of UI performance, it's every bit as fast, if not more responsive than the OnePlus 3. Everything you do just glides across the screen, and it's worth bearing in mind that the 652 is actually every bit as powerful as the Snapdragon 810, except for 3D gaming performance, and it's far more efficient. Having said that, when it comes down to it, the 820 will absolutely destroy the 652 when it comes to 3D gaming performance, but in just about every other task you will not notice the difference, and to be honest, you'll actually save battery life with the 652. Worth bearing in mind though is that this is still a fantastic phone for gaming and beats out just about any smartphone from last year. And as you would expect, internet performance is fast and fluid and is made into a really enjoyable experience by the ultra-sharp 5.5-inch display. It gets better because Vodafone have actually fitted the device with not one but two front-facing speakers which offer amazing sound. They're incredibly loud, rich, punchy, and to be honest, listening to my Spotify playlist, it sounded like I was hearing the songs for the first time. It was that different.
When you want to get off that darkest ground, the gravity pulls you.
When it comes to the camera, Vodafone fitted the Platinum with a 16-megapixel sensor, which can do autofocus, HDR, and 4K video recording. The shutter times are fast, the images that captured are generally very sharp in almost every lighting condition, but it's just slightly beaten out by my Galaxy Note 5, which, to be honest, does cost twice as much. The pictures it takes are definitely crispy, but due to the smaller aperture size, it just lacks a little bit of depth of field. So for example, there'll be less bokeh and less blur in the shots you take, which is a bit subjective, I suppose. Combined with its up-to-date software, its really efficient components, the battery life of 3000 mAh actually pushes you through 2 days of moderate to heavy usage, which is something I found to be an absolute lifesaver. I did some heavy battery tests and tested the battery while I was gaming, and it does outperform basically every flagship smartphone out there, including my Note 5. There's a battery saving mode, which actually means that when your screen is locked, you can sort of see your notifications in black and white. And because this is an AMOLED panel, that basically doesn't drain the battery at all. And there's also a notification LED, which is not multicolored. To top it all off, we've got 4G plus connectivity, and we've got SD card support on top of the already reasonably sized 32 gigs of internal storage. So guys, that is the Vodafone Smart Platinum 7. And to be honest, it's really starting to grow on me. Whilst I am a bit of a nerd when it comes to these things, I love my specs, I love my numbers, I've started to realize that actually this is one of the most usable phones I've ever had. The speakers make every multimedia experience a joy. The screen makes everything you watch, all the games you play, really vibrant and vivid. and the emphasis on battery life, storage, and connectivity show that Vodafone has actually made a smartphone where they've thought about the whole user experience and not just getting down the best specs. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.